Good to see you, and yeah, I hope it all goes well with your journey you're making. Can you tell us what it was that spurred you on to do this in the first place?
Well, to do the walk was the fact that the police, when I videoed them in my flat in London, said that Ken Clark is above the law. I don't believe anyone should be above the law. The laws are there for all of us, regardless of who we are and what station of life we have to find ourselves in, either by design or by accident. And all the laws are applicable to all of us all of the time. However, the police made it very, very clear that said Ken Clark was above the law and could not be questioned. That celebrities and film stars are above the law and could not be questioned. And I'm still asking myself, well, who do the laws affect? Well, it affects me and you, isn't it? If I made a statement against you, then you would be spoken to and questioned by the police, at the very least, you know. According to the European Union, the politicians are all immune. And we are part of the European Union, so the European Union laws govern us all. And so it's not only the politicians who are above the law, but it's also people, their assistants are above the law, their business partners or people in the meetings of the European Union are above the law, and that exists for the rest of their life. They have immunity from prosecution for the rest of their life. All that they can actually be prosecuted over are driving offences and hate crime, and they have to be caught in the act of doing it. So that would mean, you know, a speeding ticket or something. You know, you're photographed on camera, and a hate crime, well, it would have to be filmed in some way to even be considered to be prosecuted. And then it had to go before the Standards Committee, and they could veto it. It goes before the Prime Minister, he would veto it. In my case, actually involves the Prime Minister of the country, so of course he's going to veto it and say that, you know, Ken Clark can't be questioned or spoken to. So really, we have nowhere else to turn to. So the idea of doing the walk was a sort of an angry process, really, which was about making them stand up and really kind of say, look, you know, no one is above the law. There's lots of MPs that have called me and contacted me that said, I agree with you, Ben, no one should be above the law. So it's not like, you know, the MPs are bad. No, some of them are clearly not very nice people and aren't in for our interest, or for their own interest. But a lot of MPs are actually trying to do a good job in a corrupt system. And I think that's what we're trying to point out here. So I'm walking for child abuse victims and people who've been abused. You know, when I was at Bilderberg speaking 2 weeks ago, there were plenty of people who came up to me, and because I told my story, they felt that they could tell me theirs, which I was really grateful for. And again, more and more people that you wouldn't think of being abused are abused. And it's my uncle abused me, the clergyman abused me, been abused by the police, a police officer or someone, you know, and we hear these stories, and I think a lot of people just goes over them. But if you have been abused, it stays with you for the rest of your life, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. You know, some of the criticisms that people have been getting, you know, for not reporting things at the time, waiting 20 years or whatever it is, until they report it, is because they probably have reported it. The police do a demoralisation exercise on them, which means, in their own words, they said to me, and I videoed them, that when you complain to the police dismiss you, you don't complain again. So therefore, did they get to make the statement, or did they just get dismissed at the desk in the police station? Well, you know, we don't know. But it's very difficult to go to a police station and tell your horrific story when you've been abused. It's not an easy thing. You have to relive it, and then you have to relive it again for solicitors, evidence to the court. It's a really big deal. And, you know, people have killed themselves, they've attempted suicide. You know, it destroys families, it destroys people's lives. So I'm walking for all those people who feel that they can't speak for themselves. I can talk, I can speak, I'm not afraid of these people anymore. I have been afraid, I had my moments of fear, as you all know, when, you know, people stood outside my flat and threatened me, you know, and my wife, you know, we were suddenly, you know, separated, since then, the pressure and stuff like that. So, you know, I've lost everything that I had through this, so I felt that I had to do this, really. It wasn't, I didn't have a choice on whether to go on this walk or not. It seemed insane at the time, and we hadn't planned it. We came up with it, me and Hannah from Illuminati Exposed came up with this in a back garden having a cigarette at 1 o'clock in the morning, I think last Tuesday, and we just said, let's do it, you know. I'm sure we'll get other people along the way. And I wasn't expecting any of this, you know. We've got 6 people now, you know, and we had Rachel and Paul yesterday, who walked with us a little bit out of the Abbey, at Bath Abbey when we stayed with the monks. And the monks, what a great experience that was. you always think that people of God would do the right thing when it comes to it. And in the case of St. Paul's, we saw that wasn't the case because of all the parties that were involved in the church. But when we rocked up to the monks at Plymouth Abbey, they didn't turn us away from the inn. They gave us food and they gave us a hot drink. And you know what? That's the simple things in life that just make your day, because we were exhausted. I mean, absolutely exhausted, because we're going too fast at the moment. We're putting in too many miles, really, at a too quick pace. What we need to really be doing, leaving earlier, because at the moment we've sort of been leaving at sort of 11, 12 o'clock in the afternoon, walking through the hottest park of the day, not camping until about 8 o'clock at night, and we're just too tired. And our feet are wrecked by the end of the day.
It's not as if you've done any training for this, is it?
No. None of us have. That's the point. I mean, I do my exercises as I always do, but I always kind of test myself, what am I training for? Oh, clearly you did. So we need to be leaving a lot earlier, perhaps at 8 o'clock in the morning, walking, then having a decent lunch, and then camping earlier to 4 or 5 o'clock at night, and then I think we'll get the right rest and have the energy to go on. But we're going to do it regardless. More and more people are joining us. You yourself, Mal from Anonymous UK, Hannah from Illuminati Exposed. That's Mal. Yeah. Yeah. And Hannah over here.
Hi there. Yeah, check our radio show tomorrow. Well, it's not really tomorrow. It's Friday, 1 AM, Illuminati Exposed on Blog Talk Radio. I'm walking basically against the corruption within the banking system. The way I see it is millions of people every day walk to get to a better life, clean water, good food, money for their families, and it's the least we can do.
Yeah, and we've got Mark. Has Mark come in? Mark is an interesting story because his mum gave him some pasties the other day, and so his mum gave him some pasties the other day, and we lost them, and then we also lost his new socks as well. So Mark is down a pair of socks. So if people have got pasties and socks to Mark, then he'll be greatly appreciating it. And then Nick of the Devon clan has joined us.
Hello, Nick.
Oh, hello guys. I just did the interview that you all watched previous to this, and it's a pleasure to be with these lovely people. I'm here to try to make the world a little bit better for my grandchildren.
Yeah, and Sapagata in the corner, who's helped us with our feet. And the best advice I've ever been given is about drinking distilled water, because it's clean water. We were all on this stuff you buy from the shops, and it's absolutely, we were suffering. Yeah. As soon as we had the distilled water, it's been brilliant. And also, this cider vinegar, which we rub on our feet and we drink. And it's absolutely delicious, and it sorted out my feet within a day, within a few hours. So that's what we're doing today. We're just preparing our feet, gathering up, and we'll be pushing on to exercise tomorrow.
Great stuff. Thanks very much, Ben.
You're very welcome, sir.